Well, hey peepers, it's me again, Margaret. Oh, it is a beautiful day. My mother would have loved this day. For those of you who don't know, my mother has struggled for an entire week battling for her life. If it wasn't one thing, it was another. And it was really torture seeing her struggle like that. Bear, quit hitting it. I feel a little numb. Oh, probably a whole lot numb. Feel a little hollow. Probably a whole lot hollow. But I know where she's at. But it don't make it easier. I'm gonna miss her. She was surrounded all week by those who visited, all her children. We were all there this morning when they told us that come quick, we're bringing in the family. Yesterday she was fine, sitting out, smile, a little smile on her face, feeling better than she had in the whole week. Boy, what a battle she was in. Physical, but her spiritual battle, Mama never gave up. She'd say, God's got this. And every time she'd go to get agitated, I'd say, remember Jesus, remember God, talk to God, Mama. And she'd look up at me and go, and she'd sit there. And sometimes I'd say, don't forget, talk to God. She goes, I do, I have. But it was very hard. Very, very hard. But I'm glad I was there. Hey. I'm very glad that I was there to see this historical event. Just thinking about her. I'm tired. It's been a hectic week for me and my family. Dad is, hush, Rowdy, go out yonder in the yard if you're going to bark. Go on. But, and Dad's not really taking it. Let's just say he's taking it. But I worry about him. He's not behaving right, so to speak. He's had open heart surgery and stuff, and it bothers me that he's staggering. He's not taking care of himself, and we're trying our best to get him to. I love you too, Almighty. There's a butterfly. It just furled around and it come down. But I'm quite concerned about him. I hope we don't lose him too. So I'm a little nervous on that end. But back to Mama. Mama struggled. Kind of like they couldn't figure out why she couldn't breathe. Her lungs were clear at one time, but then her lungs started filling up with some stuff, and before they knew it, she was threshing water, you know, treading water, so to speak, because she was like this and she's trying to breathe. Well, after doing a CT scan, they finally realized that she had like pouches of water around her lungs and her rib cage. And so no matter where she was at, the water was pressing on her lungs. And she couldn't breathe. And it was like somebody was suffocating you with an invisible pillow and you couldn't get away from it. Or if you've ever been in a pool and you know you went down and you're treading and you're trying to get back, that fear of drowning, that's what she was going through. But finally they got that fluid off of her and she come in there with a smile and she said, the moment they took that fluid off me, I was like, yes, my mama's back. She smiled. She ate a little bit. She was good. That was a happy victory day. And I'll take any little victory God will give me. But this morning, I get a call like 2:30. Sister, come quick. They're saying Mama's dying. I was like, what? I think Mom had probably, I think the words exasperated a little bit. So Sandra said, what's that smell? She texted it to me. So, smell? And that would be. And so when I got there, she was sitting up. She was breathing. She was breathing okay. She was still a little heavy, panting. And we called everybody. We knew to call, you know, family-wise. All the kids were up there. Doug, Shane, Lisa, Larry, Sandra, me, you know, and Doug's child, Megan, her husband. Megan and them came the day before, but then they finally came in. Larry's children, Nikki and Jesse and her fiance, Chris, I think it is. I could be wrong. Chris, if you're watching it, I'm sorry. Jessica, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Aunt Tish is a little scatterbrained today. But anyway, you know, she had a group of people around her. And, you know, it progressed and she got agitated. They gave her something for it. And, she kept wanting to get off the bed. And Dad was holding her, I was holding her. We was all trying to, because her little legs, she wouldn't be able to, you know, walk. She was so weak. Boy, she wanted to. And I had gotten down in front of her because she wanted to get out of the bed. And so I got my knees down on the floor and I put my body, on her legs there and almost like betwixt her legs a little bit. And I said, where are you going? She goes, I'm leaving. I'm going home. I said, you are? She said, yes. I want down. Let me out. And I said, Mama, you can't get out of here. I said, your legs won't work right. She says, watch me. So when she said, watch me, I said, well, I'm watching. And she goes, I'm going to kick your butt. And I said, well, I'm going to kiss your face. And she just looked at me and she said, get them little beady eyes. And when she had those little beady eyes, she cut them at me with a little grin. Because I said I was going to kiss her face. Then she said, well, my back hurts. I need to sit back. I said, okay. So I asked, Lisa and him to help me sit her back. And we sat her back into the bed. She kind of turned to the side because that's the way she wanted to turn. She didn't want her on her back. She wanted to turn. So she turned. And when she turned, she laid there for a minute, and I looked at her face. And I said, Mama, are you all right? And I reached and grabbed her and sat her up. And when I sat her up, I looked at her. She looked over at me kind of like this. And she smiled, and she went. And the next thing I knew, my mother took a gasp of breath. And she kind of gurgled like she couldn't catch her breath, like she was choking, in a way. And my mother died in my arms, and and Dad was right there in front of her, praying and praying and praying, asking the Lord to not let it be suffering. So she didn't suffer. It was a quick taken away. She said, watch me. She was getting out of there. My mother took a trip for all eternity. She showed me. She was getting out of there. I hoped it wasn't like that, but she made me promise, don't try to save my life. And she had told me earlier in the week when I had asked her, I said, Mom, you got to get better. You got to get well so you can get home. She goes, Tisha, I ain't never leaving. I said, what? She goes, I'm never getting out of here. Now, it wasn't the first time, or I wasn't the first person she had said that to either. She knew. And my sister said when she collapsed this morning, she believed it was, she believed she probably died right then, but she was given time for all her children to be around her to say, I love you, and say goodbye. And we did. We didn't say goodbye, but we said, see you later. We love you. But it don't make the hollowness, or the solemn emptiness go away. She's not suffering no more. She's not smothering. She's not trying to kick my butt so she can get out of the bed. But I know there's going to be days, many days to come, I wish I could hear that. So anyway, I thought I'd document this, let you guys hear that my mother is now with the Almighty. And she is reunited with everybody, all her brothers and sisters, her parents, everybody in heaven is celebrating today. And, oh, I forgot to tell you, after Mother took her last breath, I felt her spirit. And I heard her tell me, because I said, Mama, Mama. I heard her whisper, Tisha, I'm okay. And then I broke down. she's in her glory land. And I'm happy for her. And I will get through this. It's just going to take time. But I just wanted you guys to know I wanted to document the day my mother went into heaven. And to let y'all know that life is short. Even though it seems so long. Don't hurry it. Take in every moment, every little fuss, every little nick that, you know, your parents or your siblings or somebody does. Just forgive them quickly. Love them and just as they are, and forgive quickly. Because you're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised all your relatives and all your friends or your family around you when you leave. Love God. Listen for Him. He will be with you through all your trials, all your darkness, all the valleys and hills. He didn't say you wouldn't have trials and battles. He said He would be with you. And He was with me. He was with my mom. And all your prayers, oh my gosh, gave us an entire week with my mother. And gave us a moment you can't put a price on. Well, we were there with her, all her children in the same room, talking and looking at Mom, saying our, love yous and that. That's your prayers gave us that gift. And your prayers gave Mom a gift of healing. Where she was suffering and agony and just tired, just wanting to sleep. You gave her, by all your prayers, you tickled the ears of God, and He gave her rest. And He gave her a new body, a healthy one. She's not suffering. She's not gasping for breath. We here on earth, we're still crying. We're still in limbo, numbness, taking a moment to ourselves to grieve and cry. And it's going to take time. But what gives me a little comfort is my mama. I said mama, because she is talking about Green's funeral home. I said, speaking of Green's funeral home, I said, when it comes time when things plummet, what do you want me to do? I said, you want me to let you go? She goes, let me go. I'm going home. I'm going to be with my Lord and God. My mama is with her Jesus. And she's with her God. Same one I worship. So I know she's at peace. And I know she's there. And she told me, Tisha, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm okay. So anyway, that's been pretty much my week. Like a seesaw. And I hope it's helped somebody out there. Prayer works. Prayer works wonders. It might not be what we want as people here, but my mama's okay. She's fine. Me? I can't say that. I can't say that. I'm numb, hollow, heartbroken, feeling all alone. And I know I'm not. I have all you guys. I have my husband. I have my children. I have my siblings. It's a grieving process. I went through the same thing when I lost my son. So I know it's a grieving process. And I'll have to get past it. I'll have to put on my big girl britches, as Mama would say, and suck it up, Buttercup. That's my mama. Put on your big girl britches and suck it up, Buttercup. Never thought I'd see this day come. And it has. And I just thank God. Because if I didn't have him, I don't think I could even do this video. Because I wouldn't be able to be certain and sure that she is where she is, or that I would even see her again. But I know I will. And I know where she is. Because I put her there. I put her in God's hands. All in that little basket. Everybody I love. And it be God's will, not mine, of what is best to help them. I don't want no family members suffering. And I told him, I said, God, I know what you told me. I said, but if my mama is going to have to live a life of suffering and not a normal life, a life that you know she's not going to like, I said, I don't want it to be my will and my mother suffer. Because he says, ask and it shall be given. But I want to take in the other person in consideration. And I said, I ain't give up on her. I said, you know I ain't. I said, but if you know her heart and you know her mind, I want you to do whatever it is she wants. And your will. And my mama went quick. She didn't suffer. And God took her home to work his flower gardens. Well, I love you. I hope you got something out of it. I hope it didn't bother somebody too much. But it's just a documentation for me for later on to see. Facebook likes to, give you memories. I did one when Dad McIntyre died. I did several of them when Dad McIntyre died. But I was so busy up there with Mom, I didn't have a chance to even come home to do a video. So I just documented in pictures and stuff. And y'all be safe out there. Love the people that are close to you. And if you have disagreements with people, forget about them. Forgive them. Love them. Just swallow your pride. Just say bygones are bygones. 'Cause life's too short to hold grudges and be nasty and mean to people. You miss so many memories. I love y'all. Be safe. And remember, Almighty's listening. You listen and talk to him. And thank y'all for all the prayers for my mother. They worked. He heard them. And my mother is healthy. She's not suffering. She is home. And her kidneys are better. Her lungs are better. Her sugar's better. And her heart is better. And I'm going to miss her. So, thank y'all for your prayers. Bye.